I could have just been comfortable and just done me and him on the tools and just stuck with that, but there was definitely a much bigger vision and dream because it's not about me. Unfortunately and fortunately, money is quite important. How good would it be to be the person, something bad happens to your best friend or wife or son, and they need an operation that's $150,000 and you're the person that can provide that for them. You know, people always bang on about balance in life, but I don't subscribe to that at all. And unfortunately, what can come with that is other aspects of your life lagging behind, and I knew that if I wanted to grow something that was going to make me feel fulfilled, not happy, but fulfilled, I have to push in one direction quite hard. Yeah, I think in this day and age you can't just rely on word of mouth anymore. The internet's there, use it. You don't have a spreadsheet or something you're working off or someone you're learning it from. It's going to take you ages to figure out how you actually price for profit. Definitely wanted to go back to the house and rip it all off, and then lawyers got involved, so you will be trespassing on the property. So it got a bit hairy and it got to the point where it's just not worth it, so I just left it. When I'm rocking around in a nursing home one day on an old wooden chair, looking back on my life going, did you just settle and were happy with what you had at that time, or did you at least give it a crack and be proud of going out there and betting on yourself?
This time last year you were still working, doing cashies on the weekend.
Yes.
And it's been 12 months later and you've got like a full team now. Did you think it would end up like this time last year?
Yes, somewhat. Yes and no. So like, I knew it was something that had to be done with where I wanted to be at in business, and where we wanted to grow and where we wanted to go. But to see it come to fruition is like another thing to me, because especially with the amount of work we're getting lately, we've got to keep growing to keep up with the demand. So I guess to answer that, like, I didn't think we'd be where we're at the moment, but definitely kind of grateful with where we're at and the work we've done beforehand to kind of get to this point.
Yeah. Which
is kind of, in doing that, you kind of expect that result.
Yeah.
Not to sound, if that sounds egotistical or anything, but
so you're like hopeful, but not like...
Yeah, like the connections and the networks that were built beforehand, like Jake, you were saying on the last podcast, like the years of doing weekend work and cash jobs and building connections in the roofing game. It was kind of like expected that it was like 3 years of cash jobs of like, it's inevitable that you're going to have to grow a team to keep up with the demand if you keep going the way you're going. So yeah, it's half expected.
So when you first started, do you reckon it was all that experience of going out on the weekends and stuff that helped you take off so quickly?
100%. Yeah, absolutely. And I think it was like also the mindset of being okay with the fact that you don't know everything and not thinking that you know everything. Like, what I mean by that is having people to lean on when you need them. Especially in my industry, for me, it was my former boss. Look at him like quite a mentor. And some coaches I've had as well, business coaches, always sorting out the information that I need at that time for me to grow to the next level in business.
Yeah, so you weren't just like guessing, like you had...
Yeah, it was kind of some structure there. But what was that question again, the initial question?
Yeah, I was just saying, like, after you started, it's been 12 months, like when you first started, did you reckon like this is where you would be when you first started?
Yes. Yeah, just to put it shortly, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because if I didn't, and I would have been selling myself short, resting on my laurels. If I just had like my one worker that I started with, Joseph, I could have just been comfortable and just done me and him on the tools, and just stuck with that for as long as I needed to. But there was definitely a much bigger vision and dream, and still is, for where the kind of company needs to go, because it's not about me. It's not just me. It's the company as a whole, and where I want everyone else to go and grow, and where I see the company going. So, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people get stuck, I reckon, because I've worked with them as well, where they're just busy enough to have like a full-time job, working by themselves, not like actually growing a company.
100%. I could definitely, it's very much so like a sole trader, can be a sole trader mindset where you can get comfortable. Like I was saying to you the other day, what pushes me to try to get more and more work is it'll stress me out if I'm not keeping the boys busy.
Yeah.
So as long as I'm getting work for them to be busy, well then I'm not as stressed. Whereas if it was just myself, I would kind of be like, oh, okay, I've done this job and might have tomorrow off, and and then I might work on Thursday, and it's kind of a little bit more sporadic. But because there's other people's livelihoods and their interests as well, and how much they enjoy coming to work each and every day, I do need to have the responsibility of fulfilling their role and how they want to become the best tradesman they can be each and every day.
Yeah, well,
absolutely.
That's what you're doing now. We'll get back to like how this year's been and stuff. But
yeah, absolutely, man.
How'd you even get into, like, what made you pick roof plumbing?
Roof plumbing, like I was saying before, I literally was working at Toys R Us at this point in time when I applied for the first job with Steve from Crowley Roofing. I was working at Toys R Us, absolutely loved that job. I was probably there for 3 years. And I was just on the internet, on Gumtree of all places, not even Seek. And I was feeling a little bit like I could be doing more. School had finished. I was working full-time at a toy store. I kind of was like, I need to be doing more. I need, my future isn't in selling toys. I need to set myself up. And that might be having to put a trade under my belt, because all through school I had no idea what I wanted to do. It was either you go to university or you go and get a trade, and I kind of stuck through Year 12 VCE, didn't even do exams, because by that point I'd made the decision that I don't want to study and continue studying it. That just wasn't for me. So it did start at 18, 19 when I was looking for a trade, and just thought, I had done a little bit of landscaping through my mum's partner Paul, like maintenance work, and my brother has a landscape construction company. So I kind of felt like a little bit, while I was at Toys R Us and doing a little bit of garden maintenance with Paul, my mum's partner, kind of felt like I was going to go down the road of almost that gardening, landscaping, construction route. But I'll always remember my brother said, if you're going to do a trade, because a lot of what I've learnt off my brother. So in other areas that he has, either because he's done things before me, he's 6 years older than me, I can learn about the things of what not to do. Yeah. So I've got the luxury of that. So he pretty much said to me, if you're going to do a trade, it's got to be licensed, or else you're not going to be happy with the money. And he said, you either got to do is electrical or go down the plumbing route. Because they're your licensed trades, your main ones. So I went, all right, fair enough. So I went on Gumtree, and there was a roof plumbing ad, and I just thought roof plumbing was literally running cables through the roof space and the roof cavity.
Like for the shower or something?
Just, like gas pipes, just any sort of piping. I was so naive, I had no idea about anything. Just literally a trade. I never even really saw myself being on the tools. So when I called up Steve, I said, hey mate, I'm looking for a job. He said, great, you can start on Monday, or whenever it was, and rocked up in my Commodore. He said, make sure you just go buy a tool belt, and had no idea what tools he was telling me to buy. I had no idea what they were. So I rocked up with the complete wrong tools and just used the guys' tools that they had on site. Yeah. There was probably about 6 or 7 guys on this job site, and got there and they were slapping tin sheets on a roof really high up. And I was like, oh shit, I didn't know this was roof plumbing. It was actually laying people's metal roofs and gutters and things like that. Again, I thought it was piping and shit like that. So not something I was really like, oh, I'm going to be interested in that. I just applied for it and just thought I'd give it a crack, and ended up enjoying it for the most part because of the people I worked with at the start, and then I actually kind of did start to enjoy the process of the actual roof plumbing aspect.
Is it like a separate trade, or is it like you're a plumber but you just do this type of work?
Yeah, so you do go to, your trade schooling, and you technically are doing all aspects of plumbing when you get your certification. So, you got your gas plumbing, drainage plumbing, sanitary plumbing, roof plumbing. There's heaps of other types of plumbing. There's sprinkler fitting, there's mechanical plumbing. So you go through trade schooling and you kind of do all aspects of that throughout your 3 years of trade schooling. Because overall, technically it's a 4-year apprenticeship. So 3 years trade school and 1 year on the tools finishing it off. But if you have a really good boss and you've done your time at trade school, you may get signed off a little bit early. So you could do your time in just over 3 years. So technically I'm a qualified plumber, but only focus on roof plumbing. I'll never, if someone asks me to do a hot water unit, I'd have no idea what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So yeah, just specialise in roof plumbing. But there are plumbers out there that do all aspects, a little bit of everything.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
And you, because my sister's boyfriend just finished year 12 and he wants to be a sparky.
Nice.
And we're looking for apprenticeships.
Yeah.
So you just called, like you don't apply or anything, because I think he's struggling with like, how do I even get in touch with these people?
Oh, really?
You just found it on Gumtree.
Yeah, literally, usually it's like a really dodgy way of getting a job.
Yeah.
Is someone through Gumtree. It's not really, you'd be expecting to go to a company that's not running the proper way that it actually was when I got there. It was a very successful company. So I was quite lucky in that respect. And I also, I don't know what the figure is, but it's quite unlikely for a apprentice to stick with the same company throughout their whole apprenticeship, and then after they do their time, because I never moved, and throughout trade school, everyone was moving. They'd be on their second or third company during the trade schooling period, and I was still with the one company, which is quite lucky. You don't get that a lot, and I guess that's just because I was treated really well, and it wasn't a company you were just wanting to leave because it was just good camaraderie, lots of perks, lots of rewards.
And
I've
worked with him as well. He's awesome
to
work with.
So I'd say it's your sister's boyfriend, is it?
Yeah.
Is he struggling to get a job, or is he?
Yeah, well, I think he's just struggling to find.
Or is he struggling?
I think they're looking for somewhere to submit a resume online.
Oh yeah, the best thing you could do is just directly call up.
Yeah.
You see a company on Instagram or Google or something like that, just call the number. Hey mate, I'm looking for a job. I've actually recently had a few people just call me apprentices. Are you looking for any apprentices? And that's the best way you can do it, really. Because then you just say, if you are, yes, send your resume over to my email. If not, here are some connections I might have who are looking to hire. So you just directly call them, absolutely. Yeah.
I like what you said about your brother too, because that's the whole idea of this podcast. People that are ahead of you. And I
wish I knew that podcast. Well.
Yeah. People that are ahead of you have made all the mistakes already, and you can learn from them and do things quicker, which is what you've done well with all the coaching and stuff you've done.
Yeah. Just trying to always learn off other people that have been there, trying to emulate. If someone's got the results in their life that you're after, well, just more than likely that person's willing to give you a little bit of knowledge of how they got there. So it's always worth asking. You got those questions. It's just a quicker way to, I guess, fast track your progress of where you're wanting to go. Yeah. Absolutely.
And then during that time, I want to just talk about
the roof plumbing.
So while you're doing all that,
there's a lot going on.
You're also managing your partner at the time, Tay. An impact on all of us, but especially you. She passed away during that time.
Yeah.
Did you want to talk about how that shaped your drive?
So that whole situation is all the dates and everything are muddled up in my brain.
Yeah, because it was COVID too.
Because it was COVID. It's a lot of frustration in that whole field, to do with the funeral and stuff like that, because you could only have 10 people there. It's just fucked up. And like, yeah, the whole situation, a lot of it, my brain has like forgotten, and the dates and the times and things like that. But I think at that point, when was it? It was 2020, was when she passed. So, and at that point, yeah, I was like working for Steve, and thank God I had a really, really good company I was working for, because they facilitated and were kind of like there for me with the time off that I kind of needed here and there. Because there were times where, yeah, I'd be sleeping in the hospital overnight next to her bed, and then I'd be waking up in the morning, going to the gym, and then going to work, and then going back to the hospital. And kind of her family and her mum, they would all go, yeah, during the day and at night at times as well. They just got to a period where there wasn't a lot of sleep happening in the period of when Tay was going through her sickness, trying to balance everything while trying to be there for someone, earn an income, and I guess just do the best we could with what we had at the time. And thank God, working for Corelli Roofing, like, again, I got the time off I kind of needed, but there's only so much time off you can get where you then have to keep working. Apprentice. Yeah, especially as an apprentice as well. And luckily I was living with the Keatings, with their family, under their roof, so I was very fortunate to be, yeah, living with them, and didn't really have a lot of things we had to pay for, maybe a little bit of board, but it was stuff all. But yeah, that was a very rough time for their family. And it was very frustrating as well. It was kind of a time where, without going too deep into it, like the sickness and everything that she was dealing with, a lot of it wasn't believable from lots of people close to us. They didn't believe the severity of it. You know, it started out as what seemed quite minor and obviously leading to quite tragic. But she lost a lot of friends. She actually lost a few jobs as well. You know, a lot of people just thinking, oh, it's not that bad, what are you talking about? But then as it got more serious and she deteriorated more and more, it became quite imminent to me, especially in the health system and hospitals and shit like that like money is quite important. Unfortunately and fortunately, especially in her case, there was lots of surgeries and things she needed quite fast, and they were not cheap at all. Not cheap at all for her family. And I was kind of on the outskirts, like watching that and what can kind of happen in the unfortunate circumstance of health, like having to better your health and try to save someone's life, and these kind of operations and things going on, they cost thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. So I kind of say that to say a lot of the reason and a lot of the I guess you might call it a little bit of trauma or a little bit of my mindset when it comes to earning money. I kind of link it back to there has to be an absorbent amount in case of a rainy day, one day, of anything bad happening to my now family or
like to feel
close
safe.
Friends and family. Like, how good would it be to be the person, like, unfortunately, say something bad happens to your best friend or wife or son, and they need an operation that's $150,000, and you're the person that can provide that for them. Just shit like that. It's kind of ingrained in me that, just money can be very important in that aspect of, so that, saving a life and stuff like that.
That's another reason probably, like, where you're like, I don't want to just sit around as a sole trader.
Yeah.
I grow everything.
100%, man. It's a really deep, and obviously the knowing that Tay's up there and looking down on me and wanting to do them proud and things of that nature. There's all other aspects in there. It can go so much deeper, but there's a lot of drive there of, I'm like extremely healthy. I've got nothing to worry about, to complain about, to deal with, and I've seen someone literally smiling every day, dealing with an extreme amount of pain. it kind of, I look at that experience and go, whenever think I'm having stress or I think I'm having issues, I look at that and go, fuck, you think you're having issues? Like, remember what happened back then with Tay.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I remember.
I kind of use it all a lot as fuel.
I remember how much she was posting and stuff, like her story and her journey.
Yeah, she would post a lot. Absolutely.
That's all on. Is it Tay's Vision?
It
Instagram?
is. Yeah, I think it's yeah. So her mum runs a page. I think it's Tay's Vision, and then I believe again this is how much of it I have I think chosen to block out of my mind a lot of the hospital staff. I think she has her normal page, her main page of just herself, but then she had a page that was following her sickness journey herself. I think it was God, I can't remember the name of it. I still follow it, but again, I blow it out on. But there is a page.
I think I've seen it. Yeah, so
because a lot of people
like having a similar issues with chronic illnesses.
Yeah, chronic illnesses,
like,
mouths, absolutely.
From that page.
Yeah, POTS. A lot of gut issues, gastroparesis, a lot of those issues. She was kind of posting a lot of it because not a lot of it was known. And then there's kind of a little community out there as well that she was talking to that had same issues all around Australia, but they were still a very small portion. And a lot of them were females as well. These certain things that she had were for some reason very female dominant, not as much in males. So she kind of built a little community around Instagram. And, some people may have looked at it as... Some people that didn't understand may have looked at it as attention seeking, but when you're sitting in a bed every single day and there's nothing you can kind of do, she did the best thing with what she could to just bring awareness to what she was going through to help other people. Yeah. Whereas other people may have looked at it like she's looking for attention and, is there really this much pain going on? Is life really like that? And unfortunately, to get to the stage it got to, it's pretty fucking real. So that's why she kind of was trying to just reach out constantly until people heard. Yeah,
I think she helped a lot of people. She helped you.
Yeah, man, 100%.
It's still going. Like her mum manages that page.
Oh,
so
mate.
If you're going through anything like that, you can reach out for help.
Oh, absolutely. Too. Yeah, absolutely. Nah, impact forever, man. 100%. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. Well,
She's great.
We'll move back on to like the work stuff.
Yeah, man, yeah.
So you stayed with the same company that whole time until you got qualified and...
Yeah, got
how
qualified,
long were you qualified
man?
for before you
started doing anything? I would have been...
before you started going on like the weekends and stuff?
Yeah. Oh, well, I started started all the cash jobs when I was a second year. So I started doing jobs on the weekend as a second year. And that was quite funny because the first job I ever did, I got it off Gumtree. I had no idea how to market, how to do anything. I just knew that I wanted some of my own work.
Again.
Yeah, so I thought just freely post on Gumtree. Again, wouldn't recommend it. It's probably not the best of clients on there. Very cheap jobs. But I did learn a lot about the simple things, knocking on people's doors, introducing yourself, being friendly, kind, courteous, offering services because a lot of people don't really know what's going on their roof or gutters and things like that. And being a second year, I didn't know a whole lot either at that time. I was driving around in a Commodore with a foldable ladder up on the back seat. So I didn't even really look the part when I would rock up to people's houses. So I had to kind of eliminate that out of my mind and go, oh, well, it is what it is as long as you...
Did you have like a uniform or anything you were wearing? Or?
No, so I'd just literally wear my work clothes, so my Crowley Roofing work clothes at the time. And I would make it known that, hey, I work full time, but outside of this, like I work as an apprentice, but I do these little jobs on the side. Yeah. And the first ad I posted on Gumtree was, because one of the qualifieds at the time said he used to do this, was, or it was a fourth year, is whirlybird installations and gutter cleaning. So popped that up on Gumtree and did it for really cheap and just started with little jobs like that. Cleaning gutters, installing whirlybirds, which takes like 15 minutes to do, and little gutter installations I could do by myself. So it kind of started out really, really small. Yeah. But it was quite evident to me at that time, being a second year, earning the wage that I was on for the week, which obviously wasn't as much as it was when I was previously working at Toys R Us, so I had to get over that fact that my wage was going to be significantly smaller. being an apprentice, but let's use these weekends to really boost that income up to kind of, move all the finances forward and kind of get clear and move close to those goals that I had written down. But yeah, it was like when I would do one job, I'd go, wow, I just earned, maybe at the time I was like, wow, I just earned half a week's pay in that one day on Saturday. Or maybe I just earned a whole week's pay in that one day just doing this job. Like, just that little moment of doing that one little cashier, it's like, oh, you can actually, you've got a little bit more control of where your money's going when you're doing things for yourself. Yeah.
And then, so you're doing all these little weekends on, you're like, this is sick. When did you actually turn into like BM roof plumbing?
So I was doing those little cashies as time went on. I was very grateful because Steve, my boss, whenever there was little jobs that he didn't want to do because it's quite a big company, he would just handball them off to me, and I could just make my money on those jobs. And that's where I really learned how to measure things and quote and do all that, because I'd constantly be calling him, asking constant questions, stupid ass questions. I guess that's how we learn. And then, we started doing little garages here and there in my third and fourth year. And I could even use his workers also, so that helped, because obviously in the roofing game, you do need a few hands, especially when you're doing roof sheets and passing things up and so on and so forth. So he'd actually let me take his workers on the weekend, which is huge. Not a lot of companies let you do that. So the jobs built up from there. Steve was giving me the smaller jobs. And then I think while I was working for Steve, I made an Instagram page, which was BM Roof Plumbing, just on Instagram, just to post all the private jobs on. And then what ended up happening was, I became really booked out every weekend, because I could only work the Saturday and sometimes Sundays if I was really under the pump. We started getting really, really booked, and I would be using multiple of his workers, so 2 or 3 of them. I remember, me and my best mate, Geordie Halley as well, we would do Saturday work. Like, Geordie would do his own cash jobs, I'd do my own cash jobs. We'd help each other out, and we'd just smash. We'd do things so quick. We'd just do I remember I had this job, I think it was 99 metres of gutter in one day, because there was a lot of urgency to do these jobs as well, because I only had the one day. So I really got all hands on deck. So I'd get 3 or 4 people and let's do this in the one day. Just constant, just private work. Got to the point where I had to make the decision of sticking with Steve and maybe having an agreement set up to have some incentives there to earn more money through Crowley Roofing, or just go down my own route and give it a crack and just bet on myself. And it kind of got to the point where, I just thought, just open up a business and give it a crack and see how you go. What's the worst that can happen? You're young once, and we're at a really good age to be able to fail. So, look, if things fail, you could just go back and get another job. So that was the decision I had to make.
He would probably love to have you back.
Yeah, well, exactly right. So it was quite simple in my mind the way I had to go. The only thing that was holding me back was the risk and the scarcity of being out on your own. It was the only thing that was holding me back. But I had to push through that and really think deep about why you want to have a company.
Yeah. That you want to actually grow it, or not that you don't want a boss, but you actually want to have a company.
So 100%. So the big thing for me is people always bang on about balance in life. You got to have balance here and balance there, and it's all about living a balanced life, but I don't subscribe to that at all. And not that that's a bad way of living, and I wish I could be a person that could just be happy with a kind of a balanced life. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just when I think of that word balance, I think of let's say all your greats in your world, your Kobe Bryants, your Michael Jordans, your bloody Elon Musks, all those types of people. None of them have have had balance in their life. They have pushed extremely hard in one direction, and unfortunately what can come with that is other aspects of your life lagging behind, but I guess you've got to find what you prioritise in your life and work with that. And I knew that if I wanted to grow something that was going to make me feel fulfilled at the end of the day, not happy, but fulfilled, I have to push in one direction quite hard. And there's going to be no balance in that. There might be really, really long hours there. You know, if you go into a business thinking I'm going to run a business and live a balanced life, you'll fail.
Yeah.
You will just fail. Yeah. Unfortunately, that's the reality of it. So you're going to have to be unbalanced for a period of time to then maybe later in life or later down the line create that more balanced life to then go, okay, there's some fruits of that labour that have come into fruition. I can now spend some time back with maybe those loved ones or friends and family that you possibly lost at the start when you were really pushing for that goal. Because there is a fine line between being too caught up in work, and also enjoying the life that you've got right now, with the family you've got right now, and you might have kids right now because they will pass really, really quick. So there is that line of also having that awareness that, if you go too hard one way, you're going to lose out on other areas of your life. It's kind of finding what works for you at that point in time.
I think you do a pretty good job of that.
Oh, appreciate it, man, 100%. I do.
You're always working, but then like you always see like on the weekend you're doing stuff, like you're not just lazing around.
Hanging
out with the family.
I do say I definitely do feel bad a lot of the times, especially when it comes to Mateo and Alicia.
Your son and your partner.
Yeah, my son and my partner, for those that don't know. It can get hard when you come home and then Alicia's been home all day looking after Mateo, cooking and cleaning, and then taking him to swimming and doing everything else she does for our family. And then I come home and I'm like, all right, I've got to go to the office. And then I go to and then like I shut the door, and those can be real hard, man, because like Mateo's just like knocking on the door or yelling out my name, and it gets hard because some nights you've got to be in the office for 3 or 4 hours, and then you might see him for an hour or 30 minutes. And then you've just got to know, though, that what you're doing, like, it brings a bigger meaning to what you're doing, because you're doing it for them, but you know that time you're losing out right now, you've got to use your weekends to really spend it with them, or else, like I said, time's just going to fly by. So whether it be that Sunday, that might be our family day, really be intentional with that time. And I'm always trying to work on that, because with my phone always going off, sometimes I have to just leave it in the bedroom.
We're having coffee before it. Like 5 texts and I just need to be intentional with my time, and I constantly feel bad about that, because Alicia does a lot for us and our family, and I do need to learn to put the phone down a bit more and be sometimes a bit more into our family, because work can take over if you let it. So I've got to always be working on that. But I was going to bring up before, without blabbering on, like why starting a business, because that was a big thing in my brain. Was I had to think about me in a nursing home one day. This is how extreme I think about it. Like, I always say this to people, it's like the one thing that just makes everything know that I'm making the right decision for me and where I and my family want to go, is when I'm rocking around in a nursing home one day on an old wooden chair, looking back on my life going, did you settle? Because that's what I would have done for myself. I would have settled working at the company I was at for 7 years, I think it was, before I went on my own, 7 or 8. Did you just settle and were happy with what you had at that time? Or did you at least give it a crack and be proud of going out there and betting on yourself that you could create something for yourself and your family to live off and to pass down to family generations possibly? And I knew that me, when I'm in my 90s or 80s, would have thought at least you gave it a shot and tried to start a company. So that was how I kind of made the decision. I just thought of my future self
looking back on my life and then going, yeah, at least you did it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and feeling like fulfilled about it. Yeah, not settling.
Yeah, that's cool.
No.
So yeah, you worked there for 7 years, and then
Yeah,
you're about to go out on your own.
Yeah, sorry to come back to it. Yeah.
One thing you did really well, because that's when we started working together as well. We did the website and stuff. But one
we
thing you
do
did
too. Bring that up as well.
really well.
We did some Google stuff.
Yeah, all the reviews and stuff you'd accumulated during that time.
Yeah, I
And
got a
your
couple of reviews. Yeah, and you told me. I think we kind of set up a website before I went out on my own. I think.
Yeah, it was like
maybe.
a real basic one.
Yeah, really basic. Probably one of the first websites you created.
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah.
Yeah, and made it look like we were a company before I was actually a company. So felt a little bit like a imposter, I'll say. Having an Instagram page and a website and stuff, and I'm working full time for someone else. Like felt like an imposter. It is what it is. But I kind of knew the direction I was going in, and it was kind of just trying to set this up as something that could flourish one day when it was something real.
Yeah.
And luckily you were there to help me, and I knew that, okay, we've got to get some reviews on Google, have a website at least, somewhere people can go. So yeah, with the help of you, we put a few little basic things in play.
Yeah, because then when you were ready to go, and you're like, all right, I need work now, like people would find you, and I think you had like 40 5-star reviews or something when you first started.
Maybe, around 30 or 40 or something.
You did a really good job of that. Like, you were brand new to the business, but it already looked...
Yeah, you're always telling me as well, like, make sure you get reviews. And yeah, it couldn't ring true any more true. So I remember that happening, absolutely.
So, your first day as full-time BM roof plumbing, what did that look like? Like, you just had a ranger, a ladder, just you?
First week in business, it was just myself. I remember it was hot as this week. I was doing a roof. I was by myself again, little roof. If you had a team, you could probably do this roof in like half a day.
Yeah.
But it was just myself, and got this client through my partner's mother, Sylvia. She had a client, and it was one of her clients, or one of her nail ladies, something like that I got through them, because a lot of it was word of mouth. The work at the time, just before I went out on my own as well, a lot of it was word of mouth. And yeah, that first week was like, after that first week, I was like, I need to hire someone, because I was working like a dog. Physically at that point on the tools. Like, I was like, I need someone to at least be passing me materials. It was also a very weird feeling during that first week, because I'm used to being called upon or being told what to do or getting instructed on what to do. So that first week, it was so weird. I was driving my car and I'm just like looking around, like, and on the way home, like, what the hell? Like, I'm not calling anyone. I don't have to tell my former boss what's going on with this job I was just at, because it's my own job. I had kind of no one to answer to, and it was a little bit surreal. It was like loneliness, but like bittersweet. It's like a mixture of heaps of different feelings.
It kind of feels like
you're like, is this
you just
serious?
got out of jail or something.
Yeah,
like you're free.
Yeah, you're kind of a little bit. Yeah,
I'm the same too. When I quit the police, I was like,
yeah, you would have been.
I don't have a roster now.
Yeah, you kind of look around, don't you?
Clock in or
yeah. It's really weird. You're like,
what do I do now?
And you're kind of like, am I really going to do this thing, or like, is this going to work out? Yeah. But you're kind of half excited, half, let's see where this goes, and yeah, it would have felt very weird for yourself. Absolutely.
So, did you have, like, before that week, did you have all your jobs lined up, or were you kind of just like...
I think I had, because I was quoting over that holiday period, over December, January, I think leading into, I think midway through January I went back. In February, I was able to quote, like I said, November, December. So I think I had about 2 weeks full of work. And then after that 2 weeks, we had to hire fairly quickly. I hired our first apprentice, which was Joseph, which just having one worker made life so much easier, so much easier. Very daunting having to have the responsibility of another human being, but also very exciting, and knowing that it was what needed to happen to move forward and start I guess, start allowing these jobs to flow a little bit better just by having another person there.
Yeah. So how'd you find Joseph?
So found him through...
Gumtree again?
Nah, not Gumtree. Not Gumtree this time. Found him through... He's like deep within Alicia's family. So I think it's Alicia's dad's cousin's son. I think that's the way it goes. Yeah, don't quote me on that if you guys are listening to me, the Pippolos. But pretty deep within Alicia's family, and he was working for a company prior. Kind of wasn't really happy with it, and I think his dad actually called me up. Oh, his uncle called me up, and I think he was going to completely get out of roof plumbing altogether. His experience had kind of scarred him a little bit, that he possibly didn't want to do roof plumbing anymore. So I think it took a little bit of convincing, because their family wanted him to finish his apprenticeship, but just obviously they didn't have a great employer beforehand, and he took a risk. He took a risk getting back into roof plumbing, because he's just jumped into council work for a little bit to keep money coming in.
Oh yeah.
So he actually took a little bit of a risk on me coming to a company. Am I going to get treated well or not? Are my hours going to be stupid? Am I going to get paid properly? It's a business that just started. Like, I had no employees, and I think he thought he was coming to a company with employees because he saw our Instagram.
Yeah,
and there are a couple of videos on there on our Instagram that I had employees from Crowley helping me out that looked like I had a team. But I told him I didn't have a team, but he did think there was a team from the videos. And when he rocked up on the first day and said, he goes, "Oh, is it just you?" I said, "Yeah, man, like, you'll be the first one." So
that's good marketing then.
He took a risk on me, being first year in business. How's this guy going to get work going? Is he going to keep me busy? So it was a big risk that he took on me. So I'll be forever grateful for that. But yeah.
Yeah, I've met Joseph. He's a nice fella.
He is.
Yeah.
He's a good bloke.
What's it like having employees for the first time? Manage people.
Yeah, it's like a job within itself. One was obviously the smaller team you have, the easier it is. Less people to manage. So the one was pretty easy because we were able to have a little bit of a consistent workflow, and it wasn't too heavy. Where at that time we didn't need to keep hiring. Sometimes I had to actually subcontract out to bigger companies to do some gutter renewals and things like that because the workflow wasn't there. So it was, and I wasn't too stressed because it was just me and Joseph. It wasn't too stressful to keep us busy because the jobs didn't have, they could have been a small to medium job and it would have kept us busy for like half of the week. Yeah. Whereas now we do those jobs with the team we have, and that's like one day. Yeah. So I wasn't too stressed actually at the start about the workload because we had other people to lean on, and I had my former boss to lean on if we needed more work as well. Like I remember there was a day or two I did, "Hey Steve, I've got no work, can we come and work for you for the day?" Yeah. And then you just get paid for the day and be on your merry way. So it's not like you're ever zero. There's always something there. And those subcontracting jobs and jobs where we worked for Steve, it's not like it's crazy profit. It's just money to keep the doors open. Yeah. Yeah, to keep things flowing.
Well, that's that network that you built over time as well. Like, when you were quiet, you would just call around and see if anyone could do subby work for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, well, I would subby to them.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, 100%, man. So, and now there's heaps of people you can call upon. CMA company Geordie works for. If we ever go flat, they've always got bloody work coming out their ass. Yeah. Steve. Heaps of other roof plumbing contacts, roofing specialist, Shane from Unleashed Plumbing, who you know of, or that you've heard me speak about. There's heaps of people I can call upon if I ever need to, but it hasn't seemed to have really gotten to that point much, which is good.
That's good to have there.
Yeah, good to always have, and some people, you come across issues that some people might have, some things that I've come across where I've never been in this situation before. Have you been in this situation? What have you done about it? Might be due to not being paid, certain situations in jobs where you don't see eye to eye with the builder or the homeowner. How did you get over that? So having those people to call upon has been huge to one, not make me go crazy, and two, to run a smooth ship, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's your first employee.
Yeah,
You also
Mr. Joseph.
You also had some trouble and you done hiring. You had to do some firing.
Yeah.
Going too deep
So
into it.
yeah, after Joseph, I'll try not to ramble too much. We were hiring more apprentices. The younger minds, maybe one of them was 16, other one was I think 19 or 20. But you know, it took a while to really get the team going because we had a few of these young apprentices that came in and in their outside life maybe didn't do things that were quite legal. They let their outside life kind of intrude on their professional working life, and it threw them off track to the point where they were pretty much getting themselves fired, and it was things that I knew we couldn't just keep having in the company because it was going to bring the culture down. People like Joseph were going to look to it and go, oh, well, if that's acceptable, well then what can I get away with, you know, especially with people not rocking up and saying when they're going to rock up. So the start was a little bit harder to find apprentices that were going to rock up. Just all they have to do is, I always say when someone starts, if you're an apprentice, like all you got to do is just rock up on time and have a good attitude.
Yeah.
That's it. Like you're gonna fuck up. That's just how it is. You are gonna fuck up. So if you just focus on those two things, I'll be happy. We can work with the rest. But just finding people to rock up was hard.
Yeah.
So, but we did get over that hurdle.
Was it difficult, like navigating having to fire someone for the first time?
I wouldn't say difficult, because the way I frame it in my mind is, so that I don't think that way, is I want to have each and everyone's best interests at heart. So I need to make the right decision that's going to be best for their lives at that point in time. So if I think keeping them is going to be best for their lives, knowing that they can walk all over me, the company, the employees, not rock up on time, not do the basics, if I keep allowing that, where are they going to go in life? You know what I mean? That's kind of how I look at it. And especially when you keep giving them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 chances, how many chances can you give people, you know? So especially with me, you know, I was giving chances, but, you know, once it gets past those 3 strike type of a rule, it's like someone's going to have to learn, and I've just got to let them go and wish them the best of luck and hope that they use this circumstance at working at what I see a good company. Hopefully they see that and see it as, shit, I really fucked that up. Next time round, I'm gonna be different.
When they find something,
because I made the decision to let them go and not let it go on. Well, now they hopefully have flipped the script in their mind. I'm gonna actually be different now. So I try to look at it when I'm letting someone go as, this is the best thing for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the best thing for you.
Yeah, the best thing for me. So, yeah. Or else you can just go down that hole of, I'm firing someone, I'm letting them go. What
are they going to do?
What are they going to do? How are they going to feel? Like, you got to get all that out of your mind. Yeah, and think about it a little bit different. Yeah,
so we've gone through hiring and stuff. So, pricing, we talk a lot about pricing all the time. Talk about how ads and stuff can go in, but for your growth, you've focused a lot on pricing stuff.
Yes, we have, absolutely. I think pricing is one of the most important things, especially when you're running a business, and always critiquing it and always changing it, especially with the changes that are going on in the world and business and things like that. If your pricing's not on point, you know, you can't keep your doors open at the end of the day. So I've learnt pricing from a multitude of different people and have had constant questions, whether they be stupid or not. But a lot of them from my current business coach at the moment, and in my previous business coach as well, having those key fundamentals of just the cost of your operations, your tax, your super, all your employees, your leave, sick days, hourly rates, percentages on certain jobs. There's so much that go into it. And if you don't have a spreadsheet or something you're working off, or someone you're learning it from, it's going to take you ages to figure out how you actually price for profit, you know, gross profit versus net profit, how much money you're actually keeping at the end of the day, how much of your money is going towards BAS. It all needs to be extrapolated out over quarterly, yearly, just so you know where you're sitting from a figures point of view to get the best out of the company, and so that you rock up as your best self and you're not stressing out every day and putting it on everyone else with strict time limits and things like that, because you haven't priced things accordingly. So it's a huge thing and something I'm always learning about.
Yeah, even like I used to do really cheap. I had this subscription model for websites.
Yeah.
It was like $200 a month and I'll do it.
Yeah.
It was terrible. And I felt like rushed and stressed the whole time. But now that I work with like bigger people, I'm like, this is fun. I like
100%.
How we're going to solve this and stuff. I'm not, don't feel stressed out.
Working for people that look at the money they're spending as an investment, as we always talk about, they're much better people to be working with or for. Like, even from a client's perspective, like, it's quite funny. You'll have a client that is a job that's a really, really small job and they're very, very hypercritical about the pricing. And then you'll have another client that is getting a full re-roof, 40 to 50 grand, and they know you're going to do a good job. They've looked at your reviews, they've done their due diligence, they've spoken to you, and they have no issues with spending that money on their property, as they know it's an investment to keep that house going or whatever their goals are with that. It's quite funny how people like look at things. So yeah, I can understand from your perspective, you want to be working with people that know that it's going to a good place and it needs to happen in order to grow the money that they're spending. Yeah.
And you've been good with like having coaches and stuff to do that and listen to, because the trial and error would kill you. Because I had another company that I was working with. He was new and he didn't have any like pricing strategy and stuff. And he called me one day and he's like, "That I got a job and I did it, and like we had no money because I had to go to the tip and drop all this stuff off, and that was all my margin that I had. Like the fee had increased at the tip. Like all his profit was gone for the day. And like you might as well just sit at home and play Battlefield.
100%.
Just working for free basically.
Yeah, man, absolutely. So that's why I think, getting coached on certain things that you might not know about. People see it as such a cost, but it's such a benefit in the long run. It's an investment. So you got to look at it.
Then they'll be happy to go. They'll happily just go to university and listen to something.
Yeah, exactly right. Someone will happily spend that money, absolutely, on those courses, and then they'll drop out. Or someone will easily go and spend, I don't know, what's the new iPhone worth? $2,000?
Yeah, $2,000.
Yeah, someone will go and spend $2,000 on an iPhone, but $2,000 for coaching a month. For
this bloke's whole lifetime.
That's too much. Yeah. But think about it, if you're paying like, I don't know, example, $2,000 a month could be for this example for business coaching, and I just look at it as $2,000 a month. Running a business, you want to earn more than $2,000 a month. So in the scheme of things, it's a drop in the ocean, and it's going to help your business grow in the long term. And like, it's just what it's all about. You can't do it all on your own. It's just going to take you 10 times as long to get to where you want to go. Yeah, absolutely.
So pricing, you're telling me a story about a client that didn't pay you.
Oh, yeah.
Talking about pricing and jobs and stuff. How did that go for the first time?
That was, luckily this job wasn't a massive job. Could have been a lot worse if it was a huge job. It was only a small job. And we actually did this job cheaper than I would have wanted to. We still would have made profit on it, but it made me rethink my deposit amount specifically. It was a little bit low at this time that I was getting before we started the job. Therefore, so if someone doesn't pay you, if you up your deposit amount, at least you can cover the wages and the day for that day. And look, you might not make profit, but at least you'll cover things when you up that deposit amount to save your ass. But we had certain clients that didn't pay us for this particular job. They were actually there physically watching us do the job, and I knew how hypercritical they were. So at every single step we were at, I would get them to come out. Are you happy with how this looks? Are you ready for us to move to the next step? Yep, cool, awesome, looks all great. And a couple and fantastic. And then we kept going the next step, blah, blah, blah. And once it was all done, got them out. Hey, this is what we've done. This is why we've done it. This certain situation, we're putting a bracket on a wall. It was on the corner of a brick wall. I wasn't able to nylon plug this downpipe to the corner of this brick wall because I would have blown out the corner of their bricks using a hammer drill. It's quite common to happen. It's on the very corner of a brick wall. Obviously, it's quite compromised, so I would have just blown the bricks out. Yeah. So we had to fold the bracket around the downpipe, but the other side was still anchored into the wall, so the downpipe couldn't move, couldn't come off. And I said, this is how it's going to look. Are you happy with us doing it this way? Yes, we are. We understand. You're the professional. Cool. Got out of there and, never got paid from them for the rest of the job. They, paid their deposit, and then I tried to get debt collectors involved, and they got their lawyers involved, and then their lawyers reached out, and it would have cost more for them to get their lawyers than it would of this job that I was doing. That's how small it was. And then, they said that because I sent them so many notifications of automated messages of payment not being made and payment demand notices to them, they said it was harassment through their lawyers. So I stopped with the automated messages because they're automated when someone doesn't pay. And then, just never got paid for it. And it was just a lesson to be learnt, and
so
the things I took away.
Debt collectors?
No, so I didn't do the debt collectors because I would have if the job was bigger. Because the job was so small, it wasn't worth me going back and forth with this lawyer, and it would have cost me more because what we learnt out of this was the debt collectors, what we learnt now is when someone doesn't pay, it's on day on completion, and once they don't pay, every week after they don't pay, you should be putting in interest payments on top of the amount that they owe you, so that when you do get a debt collector out, you get your payment that they can hopefully get back for you, and then all of the interest payments that were on top of that can go to the debt collection agency so they can get their cut of what they're doing for their job, collecting your debt. So we learnt that out of that if this ever happens in a bigger job. And then we also learnt, upping the deposit to, we asked for 50% now before we start a job, whereas then I think it was around 30. So just to kind of keep some funds in the account so that these issues can be, I guess, minimised. But they're always going to happen. I know this will happen again in the future. And let's just hope it's nothing too major. But, if it is, and, you've got to get lawyers involved, But yeah.
You didn't want to go back like on Instagram, just pull everything off?
Definitely. Definitely wanted to go back to the house and rip it all off. But then I was scared of trespassing because it was a homeowner's house, trespassing on their property. Again, it's in our terms that the materials are ours until final payment is being made. So that's what I said to them. So those materials are mine. I'm coming to your house to take them. And then the lawyers got involved and said, you will be trespassing on the property. So it got a bit hairy, and it got to the point where, look, it's just not worth it. So I just left it. Had, Alicia telling me, my partner and close family and friends, it's just not worth it. Like,
it's not worth getting
You're going to get probably, arrested. You're probably going to get horrible Google reviews. You're probably going to get the outcome that it could have been much worse than if I just left it. So I just had to think of it, give it time, think of it a little bit logically, and just leave it, move on. There's better people out there, but when you are in business, there are some people out there that make you really dislike humans sometimes. It's just the way it is.
So throughout this year, we've done a lot of marketing together.
We have, Thomas.
We have. How do you reckon that's affected your growth compared to just if you did like the word of mouth and calling around for?
Well, to be honest, it was all a waste of money.
Yeah.
If anyone wants marketing or
calling people,
if anyone wants any marketing, website, Google, ads, anything like that, you got to hit up Tommy. He's fucking best in the business. He's helped us out a lot. We get all our work pretty much from Google. So without Tom, we wouldn't be where we're at today. But before I clip you out, what did you just ask me to what was the question there?
How do you reckon it's affected your growth compared to just word of mouth? That kind of stuff.
I think in this day and age, you can't just rely on word of mouth anymore. The internet's there, use it. A lot of the time it's free. And then when you do put money into it, it's even better because the results are usually bigger and better if you're working with the right person. Yeah, word of mouth I think can only take you so long, especially in the older crowd, like the 40s, people that are in their 40s and 50s that did rely on word of mouth for a lot of their time. I'm now noticing they are coming to the point of realising I can't just rely on that anymore.
Yeah.
Because everyone's moving to Google, man. And I mean, I know, like, think what's the first thing you do when you need something done? You pretty much Google it, or you chat GPT it. And what we now find out is, I had a client not long ago, and they said we actually found you through chat GPT.
Yeah.
So obviously, with the help of you, you've allowed us to show up in someone's search on chat GPT, which is also really cool. So
I think Hey, hope you're enjoying the show. This podcast is sponsored by Tom Wilson Digital, my agency that helps small business owners generate more work online. If you want to learn how to do that yourself, then go check out my Instagram. It's @TomWilsonsDigital for free tips and advice. Or if you need to get help with your marketing, head to tomwilson.digital to work with me. All right, let's get back to the episode. Like word of mouth now is moving to, if you don't have a website, because I say, like, I don't save any of my trade. If I get a tradie I don't know, I don't have their phone number in my phone.
Exactly.
I'm like, oh, it's this business name, and then they've got to look it up and find it.
Yeah,
well.
Very true. Like, even the website, we've had so many compliments on our website and how it looks professional. So many compliments on all the Google reviews, which has also been a big help in getting jobs, because you've already built, when you've got these reviews there that you've helped us out with and told us to, go and get your reviews, Billy. It builds the trust already.
Yeah.
So you've already pretty much built the trust before you even rock up at someone's house, to then help you win that quote over.
Yeah, they're probably almost sold, like, just seeing the reviews and stuff.
Yeah,
they're like, oh,
absolutely.
Yeah,
looking at your photos, your professional uniforms, your professional looking website, your reviews. It's like you're already putting in the work to almost win that job.
Yeah.
Like
do you find that you don't lose many?
My coach always says you should be winning 1 in every 3 jobs.
Yeah.
And I think we're at about that point.
Yeah.
1 in every 3. Yeah. There's a lot of people that depending on size of business, can come in a lot cheaper, or they can come in a lot higher. I think...
Well, if you get all 3, you're too cheap.
Yeah, you are too cheap. There's something wrong. 100% you're spot on. You've got to kind of find that middle ground, that sweet spot of keeping just busy enough to also have just good enough profit margins to keep everyone busy and the business open, running profitably. You just need to find that sweet spot, which we're still always constantly trying to find with the help of the coach, with the pricing and the percentages on certain jobs, maintenance versus new builds and things of that nature. But yeah, man, Google's, back to your question, like, you just have to get on the internet. And if you don't know what you're doing, pay someone like Tom, like yourself, that knows what they're doing, so that they can start to get you some leads and really start to grow, I guess, at what everyone's baby is, their business, if they run one. Yeah.
And the reviews and stuff, you have a good system for...
Yeah. So reviews at the moment, it's like a little incentive for the boys that when they're finishing up a job, we've got a QR code, so we just hand that off to the client before the boys leave, and whichever of my workers is that gives them the review link, we'll hand them a little bit of cash on the side, just as an incentive for them. It also makes them realise how important their job is to do a good job, be polite, respectful. It just gives them a little bit of an incentive to work that little extra harder.
I thought that was such a good idea, because they came and did some work on my house a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
And like, they all look nice and tidy. They got all the uniform on.
It's good to hear.
They spoke nicely. Like, they're like, I'm going to get rewarded if I do all this stuff.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Yeah, I think it's big.
Teach them, even like we were saying, like, might teach them a little bit about what goes into running the business instead of like just doing the work. Yeah,
absolutely. Like they're doing like kind of in essence their own like little follow up, like in before they leave, and they do their clean up, and then when, especially the way that I'm sure the boys word it, this really helps the business grow in the future, and could you give us your honest thoughts? Yeah, absolutely. They've actually got a bit of a contribution, not just putting on the tool belt, they're also contributing to the growth of the business. Yeah,
way better idea, I reckon, than give them the $50 to the customer, which is what other people do.
Yeah, true.
They're just going to give you like a shitty review.
Absolutely. Yeah, there's so many ways you can go about it. Little tactics and things like that.
So now, we probably spoke about like the start of the year.
Yeah.
Now you got like a bigger team.
Yeah. There's a
Four,
few of us now.
three?
Yeah. So there's Declan, Liam, Joseph. So and me. So 4 of us on the tools, and then we've got good old Jeremy over in the Philippines. He's our virtual assistant.
Yeah.
And then Alicia does a little bit of work for us as well, to do with the pays and the trade schooling, and she helps me balance all that out as well. So yeah, that's the team at the moment.
What's it been like managing the way bigger team now?
It's always a learning process, like figuring out the way different people, how they work, what gets them to work well. Because everyone's got different reasons they rock up to work every day, so you got to kind of find out what's going to keep everyone motivated, how critical it is for your mindset to be good on that day, because it's going to play out to the team's mindset. How you rock up to work is huge. If you rock up in a shocking mindset, it's going to just pollute everyone else. And we do monthly one-on-one calls just to make sure I'm doing what I need to do and I can be there for the boys how they need me to be. Just over a one-on-one call every month, just to catch up, how's the month been. I'll have an input, here's the things where you fucked up or you did something bad, but these are the areas you did really good in as well. How can we move forward and then get better for the next month? It's just something we can work off, a touch point to know that we're all on the same page. Is there anything I need to work on, being your employer, that I may have missed, or something that's gone over my head? With everything that's going on, I know that can tend to happen sometimes, so don't feel bad about bringing it up with me. Things like that.
Is that something?
Always a learning curve.
Is that something that you thought of, or is that like something that you did in your past jobs? Because I feel like that might not be something that a lot of businesses do.
No, a lot of people don't do it. They kind of put it to the wayside. I just know it's something I need to prioritise, or else it'll never get done, and then nothing can get brought up to attention.
If you miss
and then you don't know how you're running the business, because you say I'm not on the tools for a couple of days. You don't know what's actually going on site and with that team or those boys. So you're kind of on the outside. So you don't know if anything bad might have happened or someone's feeling a certain way. It's just to keep your finger on the pulse as well and make sure they're all happy.
Yeah.
So that the business is a bit successful. But yeah, different personalities, man. It's always a learning curve. Like you can't go into it thinking that that someone else is going to work harder than you at being the owner of the company. Like you've got to give people grace and time to flourish into like the tradesman or person they need to be. Because I know at the start I kind of almost fell into the mindset of why you can go like, why aren't they doing this, or why aren't they doing it at this pace or as fast as this? Well, because first of all, you've got the most experience out of the whole team. Yeah. And second of all, you're the one that owns the company, runs the company, and knows the way you want to do things. They can't just pick it up just through your brain. They need to be taught it, they need to be shown it, and it's going to take time, and that's okay. Yeah. So really just being okay with how long things can take, because at the end of the day, you want a quality finish and you want everyone to be happy, the client, the workers. So, I've always got to battle with myself to not be that micromanaging. I do it a lot. Micromanaging, bossy person. You want to kind of just relax a little bit and let them take the reins. But also guide them in certain areas where the pace might need to be picked up, but not being a prick about it. Like, come on, boys. You would have been out. I know you can do this in half a day. Why weren't you able to get done in half a day? Was someone talking for too long, or was there an issue that happened that I didn't see? You know what I mean? So, yeah.
It's like being a mentor and a teacher and a boss.
Yeah, and then also I'm still learning at the same time as well. Yeah. So knowing that I've got lots to still learn also, just as much as they do. Yeah.
Is there any tips for teaching people? I think you do quite a good job of teaching. When I was out on site doing some filming and stuff.
Yeah, I think patience. I remember when I first hired, especially these 3 that I've got at the moment, and when I do hire people, I say, what's one thing you want me to take on, that you want me to know to help out our relationship if we're going to move forward and I'm going to be your boss or employer? And I remember Joseph said it, and I think I think Declan said it as well. And Liam, yeah, they all actually, I think, said just patience. So the biggest thing is patience. Because when you're running a business, you've got 1,000 things going through your brain, and you're a lot of the time you're thinking about not what's right in front of you, thinking of the next step ahead, which might be another job that's going on, or other things in the outside world. So I really still have to be intentional with just slowing down to be patient when I'm teaching things, and even slowing down the way I'm talking when I'm explaining something, because I can just go blah, 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 and then go to the next thing, and then they might fuck it up, and because I just explained it way too fast. And you just need to be patient, be slow with them, because at the end of the day, especially when you're in an apprenticeship, you're still learning. Like, you don't actually really, when you're fully qualified, that's like the time you go, okay, that's like when the real learning starts.
Yeah.
Once you become qualified. So that's like when, like, your whole apprenticeship, you're learning, but then when you become qualified, you're like, oh wow, there's a whole another load of stuff I've got to learn. It's obviously another level, but I'll just say patience, and the big saying out of How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie, which is a fantastic book, is he says a saying, people don't care about how much you know until they know how much you care. So if you live by that saying and people know how much you care, that's when they're going to really take on board what you're saying and actually implement it. Because if they think that you don't give a shit about them, well, they're just not really they're not going to perform how they should.
Boss.
Yeah, exactly, man. So I just always have that saying in my mind as well. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's been this year. Like, it's been a pretty big year from
with the help of everyone else.
Just
my youth. Yeah, absolutely.
What's on for the next year or couple of years?
So we've got, I won't go into too deep in the middle at the moment, but we're hiring 2 more boys, a fully qualified and an apprentice, next year. Hit the ground running, and possibly 2 cars, another 2 cars to the fleet. And then we're going to have to look for a factory pretty quick, just because my house is getting a little bit overrun with the material side of things.
Yeah, you've got a good warehouse down the side of the house.
Yeah, man, as you've seen. So I do want to, we want to create a real company here. So you can only run it out of your home for so long when you're trying to, create a business company. So I'll really want to get a factory and, an office, computer, because my office is at home right now, and really try to separate home from work.
Yeah.
So then once I clock off out of that factory, I can go home and I'm at home. I'm with my family, and my mind isn't at work. Because a lot of the time when you're working at home, your brain can still be at work. So then what happens is you're with your family, but you're not actually with your family. You're thinking of work, and that's still all a learning process as well. So they're the kind of the next goals at the start of next year, man. Yeah, make the team a little bit bigger, try to manage it, and get a factory, see how we go. Yeah.
Having your own factory would be sick.
Yeah, man, 100%. Like we've seen Jason and stuff, it kind of pumps me up to see him in his factory. So it just kind of makes things a little bit more real and professional, I think.
Yeah, I'd love to have one day my own, get a factory as well. Like this is in my house at the moment. Cool, set set up.
Set your own little thing up. Absolutely.
But when you're working at home, like tomorrow I'll go to the library to do writing and stuff. Like when you're working at home, you're just like, oh yeah, I've got to do the dishes or something, and come back down and do work again, and it's very hard to separate it.
Absolutely, man. It's So
the work and family stuff. You said Alicia, your partner, was helping with stuff early on.
Yes.
What was that like?
So without Alicia, God, she's done a lot. Even if it's not for the business, just for me personally, and for me to show up as my best self as business owner, family man. Without her, I don't even know if I'd be running a business, to be completely honest, because she keeps the wheels going, especially on at home. She helped out. So especially at the start, she was kind of doing a lot of the Xero, so the accounting side of things. I still don't have a whole lot of knowledge behind that. I kind of I do delegate a lot of it. So, Jeremy, our virtual assistant, does a lot of our accounting side of things, our bookkeeping. I still, do not really know how to use Xero. So that was delegated out right at the start. Alicia had to learn it right at the start.
Yeah.
Did really well with it. Had the help of one of my brothers. He had a guy that taught them how to kind of use Xero. He's a Xero expert. Alicia used the help of him over some Zoom calls, and she picked it up very, very quickly. The bookkeeping, the trade schooling side of things, uniforms, employee handbooks when you're hiring employees, making sure they've got their documents and handbooks and knowing what they need to do moving forward. She played a big role in that. And I guess the biggest thing was the belief. She's always had belief in me and in us as a family and company moving forward. So still today, she doesn't do much of the Xero anymore, but she does handle the pays and the uniforms, and even just like I might be issues, and having her perspective can clarify a lot of my thoughts. So she's like that person there that can, if my brain's a bit muddled up or jumbled up with thoughts and everything, she kind of clears everything out for me and helps me make the best decision moving forward with if we have an issue or whatever our next step in business is. Yeah. So she plays a lot bigger role than what she might think, but we're going to have to get the wrap soon on her car.
The BMW.
So we'll look forward to that. But the business and the family, she's an amazing stay-at-home mum with Matteo. So she gets to take him to all his swimming, all of his things. He's got to go to the library, does his bloody songs he does. He's only like 18 months or 19 months old. So she's always busy with him. And then she actually does her hairdressing on the side as well, which a lot of people know about. She does all her hairdressing on the weekend down at her mum's salon. So she's very, very busy herself. So the fact that she gets time to help me out is awesome.
She's entrepreneurial as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know how she does so. Like, we came over for lunch a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden there's like pasta and...
Oh, yeah, an amazing cook. That's the Italian, man. So, yeah, she's always cooking. Like, she's the best cook. Like, anything she makes, I love it. Unless she's going to cook, unless she knows I hate, fish and stuff like that. Yeah. But sometimes she likes to keep it clean and I'll try to eat it. I'm shocking with seafood, but killer cook. And always she's like, I'll be in the office flat out and, she'll make my breakfast for the following morning just to help us out, just so that we can have at least an hour's time together at the end of that night. And she's putting him to bed most nights as well, which is bloody hard within itself, putting little Matteo to bed. But I absolutely love her, and excited for the second one to be coming in April next year. So, that'll be exciting. Yeah.
Is that the official announcement?
Well, we haven't even put anything on social media. So, at least she's due in April 30th. And again, she's born to be a mother. She's an amazing mum. Yeah.
That's awesome.
I don't know how she does it. So, when there's going to be two around, it's going to be challenging, but excited to take it on. Alicia, amazing mum, amazing woman, best partner. So,
Yeah, awesome. Congratulations. Another one.
Thanks, mate. Yeah, I know. We're hoping for the girl this time around. We'll see. Happy with whatever.
All right. So that's all the business stuff. There's another thing that you are really into, which is houses and investment properties and stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is there anything you want to share about that stuff?
So I think it was 2020, which when we were talking about the Tay stuff, I think it was 2020 I bought it. Yeah, I was always saying to Tay, because I was living with her and her family, we always had a big goal, like, I'm going to buy an investment property. That's like my first thing I want to do, just because I knew the importance of, again, much learned through my brother and reading and other aspects, and my interest in property and just creating. I've got a really big interest in. I kind of see life as like a game. Like how can we? I've got a really big interest in like things that make money and assets and things like that. But I'm definitely not the smartest guy in the room. But I'll work as hard as I can to figure certain things out. So with property, I was saying to Tay, I'm going to buy this investment property, and after she passed away, I was still adamant to buy that investment property. They probably even made it even stronger that I wanted to buy this investment property. And the reason I went down the route of property instead of, say, shares or crypto or anything like that, those things were a little bit too volatile for me. I was always a little bit, when I did have a little bit of shares and a little bit of crypto, the graphs and everything scared me a lot because I was so up and down and up and down, and it really like fucked with my mental capacity of what's going on here. Whereas with property, I knew that if you make an informed decision with where you're buying or what you're actually putting your money into, there's a fair chance it's going to go up in value, kind of, especially if you're going to hold it for the long term. So my big outlook was I'm going to buy this first investment property, and I look at it like a little bank account, because I know that the money you save for your deposit, let's say for your first investment property, if you keep that locked in a bank account, look, it might do well in a high interest account, but if it's in a bank account, especially with inflation, the value of that money is just going down over time. If you think of 40 grand locking a bank account for in your savings account, let's just say for 5 years, compared to in a house, my personal opinion is if you invest wisely as well, yes, there are investments that go down, but if you put that money into a house, that 40 grand is going to increase a lot more in a property than it is sitting in a bank account. So I kind of look at these properties like their own little bank accounts that are kind of earning more money from the money you first put into them, especially if you're holding for the long term, not if you're just quickly flipping. So,
and if you look at it, if you like make a decision that you're gonna be renting it out, it's like living in a house and be like, oh,
exactly. And I guess it depends on your goals of are you buying this property mainly for capital growth? So is it going to go up in value? Or are you buying this house for cash flow purposes? So you might be buying a property and you want how much rent that the tenant's paying to outweigh the costings of holding that property. You might have different goals there. At the start when I bought, that was what it was for, cash flow. I wanted to buy a property that was in regional areas that the rent was covering every aspect of it. So you call that positively geared. And that's what it was at the start before we had all our interest rates bump up. Still, they're almost positively geared at this point in time. So to catch up on it, I did buy that first investment property in Maui in 2020, a couple of months after Tabe passed away. It was very bittersweet when I did that because she always knew it was a goal of mine that we wanted to do, and we were able to secure that house in Maui. Again, not an area I would live in, but it's definitely a good investment at that time, because it did actually grow in value quite fast as well, which then helped us move on to get the second one in Wodonga.
So your first house you actually bought, you did all the research and stuff.
Yeah, so
first house was an investment property, not even one to live in.
Not to live in. So it's an investment with the help of my brother. We there's a few sites and there's a few websites you can look into that can tell you like the vacancy rates, how many renters are there. It's got like a graph similar to the graph you look at on your Google performance of the performance over the last couple of years, or what the council's doing in that area. Are they building certain things over the next couple of 5-10 years that are going to bring in more growth, immigration, all of these things. You can look at lots of different numbers in different suburbs. And at that time, with where my price point was, Maui was looking really, really good. And I wasn't going in with it to hold it for 2 years. I was going in with it to say, I want to hold this for 50 years. So it was like a long-term strategy and good cash flow. So the deposit was stuff all. It was only a 230 grand house, so I only needed $30,000 deposit. So just used the $30,000 that I had in my bank account and put that towards that first property. And then we're very lucky that, the rent covered everything at that time. So it was no money out of our pocket. It was actually money in our pocket. And then it went up. We got it reevaluated after 11 months and it went up by about 80,000, and then we pulled out a portion of that, which you call equity. You can pull out a percentage of that, and then we used that as a deposit for the next one, which was in Wodonga, another regional area. That one was 440, and then we rented that one out. We still have those two to this day, and then I was still living at home, and yeah, those were just two little bank accounts that I'm hopefully gonna let them sit there and do their thing over the next couple of years, and see what the fruits of those come out in maybe 10, 20, 30 years. But again, I'm saying this now, those goals could be changing, moving forward with business and things, may end up getting rid of one or getting rid of both to do something else, or keeping them. They're always changing, but my mindset now is holding them, as I see the money that's put into them only growing from there. Yeah, not losing its value.
So you just put 30 grand in, and then you're able to get the deposit for the next one from that house still. Yeah. So when I say it went up by 80,000, you can't pull the full 80,000 out. I think it's 40% of it you can pull out. I think from memory, don't mark me on that though. So then for the house in Wodonga, I think we only needed, it was like 40 or 45,000. Yeah. So we pretty much used what Moe went up with as the deposit, plus a little bit more, and then bought that next house. Yeah, that's awesome. And then I guess it's that saying, money makes money. So using the money from the first one, pouring into the next. And then, fast forward to now, interest rates obviously aren't where they were back then. So they are now negatively geared, but they're not much owing on them from the rent that we're getting. So, so we do now hold them, and they work out for a little bit of a tax advantage because they're negatively geared. So, and obviously like
at this point,
they're like pretty far apart. You're not managing.
No. So
like paying him.
So like we were saying before, the whole idea of getting them was to keep my I don't want to have anything to do with them. I'd rather leave them with a property manager, and they can sort it all out pretty much. And I've been very lucky to have really good tenants in these two properties for the whole time I've had them. So, they were bought while I was still living at home with the parents. Because I think a lot of people, when they're living at home with their parents, especially my mum and dad, they never really they didn't charge me board. So a lot of people get charged board and things like that. And I just took that for advantage. I was given this opportunity to save as much money as you can, and I thought the smartest way moving forward was to just put it into those two assets. There's all other areas you can put your money into, but for me, that was kind of the area I saw, and saw my brother doing it. Yeah. And he was a little bit younger, kind of followed that footpath.
Yeah, well, what were you? You would have been 20.
Yeah, I was 2020. What are we now? 2025.
That's pretty good for 22. You could have been just buying all the Xboxes and Xbox games, and that's what I bought, like VR and stuff with. Man. But you were like, I'm gonna save it and invest it.
Thinking about that? Again, I was just trying to think of that, like I said earlier, that future self of me in a nursing home. Like, am I doing the best of what I can with what I have at this point in time? And then when you save some money, you go, where can I put this to make it work for itself? But I like to think of it like that, man. Yeah, so I think 22, and then maybe 23 when I bought Wodonga, and then when me and Alicia got together, and then found out that she was pregnant. That was then when we were like, okay, we need to buy a house because we're going to be having a baby, and even though family reached out, you can stay here, you can live here, that just pushed us even more like pressure, which is good pressure, I think, to go. We need to save, put all our money together, and we need to buy a house for ourselves and create a life for ourselves. And I didn't want to feed off. It got to a point where I felt like I was kind of feeding off my parents a little bit, like living under their roof. And I think I was like, now's the time to go and spread our wings and have this child, Matteo, and create something for ourselves. But that happened last year or 2 years ago. Yeah. Whenever it was, one of the days.
Yeah, well, imagine what it's going to be like. Like, you've done 1 year of your business. You've achieved all that already. Imagine what it's going to be like when you're 30.
Yeah, let's try
years.
to. I do try to look ahead, like 5 to 10 years. Like, I always try to tell myself, don't think that nothing's going to happen overnight. You're going to have to put 5, 10 years of blood, sweat and tears to really see the results of what you've done. So yeah, it is important to look back over the first year, be proud of how far you've come, but know that there is a lot more work to do.
Yeah.
And it's exciting to take that on with all the new challenges that are going to come from growing, I guess.
Is there any like vision in your mind of like having a big team and like an office or anything? Like, what's your...
Yeah. Like I said before, like the big thing is having a proper factory. I would love to have the big goal later down the line is to even have like a showroom where before someone say they're getting a re-roof and they want to choose a colour or a certain profile of sheeting or guttering or whatever, they can walk into your showroom / office and have a look at the different products, colour bond products, and go from there and kind of walk in and have a look. Yeah, and then you've kind of got the factory out the back. And I guess the whole thing is having the right systems in play where the business is running like a well-oiled machine. You know, you've got all the people in the right pockets, you got the right people in the office, you might have quotas out there that are specifically driving around, only doing sales, marketing, quotes, all of those big goals, man. Again, they're later down the line, but they're areas that I'm always getting coaching on, and how to automate things to allow you to again, do what the reason is that you got into business in the first place, to create a life that you'll be proud of, to have the time to give back to your family and friends. So building something that gives me that time back. Whereas I know at the start, time's going to be very thin building this thing. But again, the whole point of building it is to get that time back. So yeah, making sure you're putting the right systems in place.
Yeah, cool. Oh, I think that's pretty good. I've got some quick questions, rapid fire questions.
Yeah, rapid fire questions.
What do you wish you knew before you quit your job?
What do I wish I knew before I quit my job? Shit. What I wish I knew before I quit my job? Tom. What I wish I knew before I quit my job? Tom. Shit.
Do you want a different one?
Shit.
You can let that one cool.
Yeah, I'll let that one. Yeah, shit.
What's the biggest mistake a new tradie makes when they start their business?
The biggest mistake. The biggest mistake I'd say when people start their business, and it's solely down to literally the unknown, is just pricing. I think like we've had is a lot of people price from an hourly rate perspective, and I know for us, if we were to price from an hourly rate perspective, we would be making no money at all. Yeah. The doors would have been shut long ago. So it's just really honing in on your pricing, making sure, especially at the start, you've got some sort of spreadsheet or budget template you're working off to know where all your figures are coming from.
Yeah.
I'd say pricing, and I'd say kind of like what I did and we've spoken about, if you've knowing you're going to want to go out on your own and create a business, and it might be 6 months away you make the decision, or you say I'm going to do it in a year, just do what we did and set up Google, set up a website, make it look like a real company, get your reviews, do your side jobs on the weekend, learn it all while you're still receiving a wage so you're not stressed out, so that when you do go out on your own, you've already put in that work to set up the key fundamentals to have that successful business. Yeah. I think just like, a lot of people just leave and then they go, I'm going to figure it out. And just, that would stress me out. I don't know how people, that would really stress me out.
You'd be like,
you're chasing your tail all the time.
All right, maybe just like cold calling.
Yeah.
People would be like door knocking.
100%. Like, even if you just... Yeah, it's just, like if you've got an employer, just stick with them and build up build up that clientele while you've got that wage coming in, just so you can just make the jump and go, all right, I've got too much work now. Let's just go out on my own.
Yeah.
And start hiring people.
That was the same for me. Like I built up some customers while I was still working.
Yeah, I was going to
If I
say,
just stopped,
you
I would
couldn't
be
just
like
stop. Yeah.
tearing my hair out at the computer. Like,
Absolutely.
what am I going to do?
Yeah,
Cold
100%.
people sending those shitty emails that everyone gets like 1,000 of a day.
Yeah, so you like felt a lot more confident when you left. You were like, I can leave now. Like, yeah, everything's going to be all good. We're looked after.
What about the best investment you made this year?
Best investment.
Could be like a
Probably
tool or a...
Probably coaching, business coaching. Yeah. If
Yeah.
I didn't do that, everything would have fallen over. Yeah, probably the business coaching, the constant reaching out to my former boss.
Yeah.
It's just getting that knowledge from other people, man, or else everything would have fallen over. The other thing was, to go back to your other question as well, what was that first question again? It was...
what do you wish you knew before you quit your job?
Yeah, my job. Yeah, okay. So, what I wish I knew. How you can use stress and pressure, how you can use it to your advantage, and it doesn't need to be to your disadvantage. So kind of what I mean when I say that is, when I left my job, Mateo was really, really young when I'd just gone out on my own. So it was when Alicia was pregnant, I was still working, and just before he was born, and we had bought this house, I was stressing out because I was like, how am I going to go out on my own? And we've just bought a new house for us to live in. This is while I was still working for Steve. We've just bought a house to live in. Repayments were stupid. This is when the rates all went up.
Yeah.
So you would have known that when the rates all jumped up and everyone was stressing out. So we had 3 mortgages. We had 3 mortgages we were paying because all the interest rates went up. So I was stressing quite a lot. Mateo was coming. I was leaving my job to then go and run a business. And again, it was that pressure that was like, I can either use all of these excuses or things that are going on in the world and expenses and life being expensive as an excuse to stop, or I can use it as an excuse to, all right, we need to make this thing happen and we need to build this quick to make good money, or else all of this crap's going to crumble down. So kind of looking at it as fuel. As a motivator. Yeah, absolutely. And knowing that once Mateo's born, because Alicia was working a full-time job beforehand, Alicia's going to be looking after Mateo a lot. So, you need to pull your weight and get this shit moving. So that pressure was really good pressure, and I try to always remember that time moving forward in other areas of this business that you can use pressure to your advantage. Yeah. And when there's interest rates and everything, man, it was such an expensive time, and I didn't want to sell anything or anything like that. But luckily we built the foundations beforehand to give us a smooth run in starting the company moving forward. Because you could have easily gone it's too hard, I've got all this stuff, I'll just keep working. Yeah, it's too risky. Stuff that I'm on a good wage with my boss, I'll just take up his offer on working with him to get some sort of deal going. But I just had to make that jump, man, because I wouldn't have been happy with myself. Yeah. Like we had that conversation earlier, because the future me wouldn't have been happy with myself, because he would have known his potential that he could have just moved forward. And glad we made that decision. Yeah. The last one was, you've had a lot of advice from coaches. What's the worst advice you've had from a coach or a mentor? Well, it's hard to answer what's the worst advice you've ever gotten from a coach or a mentor, because if I look at them as a coach or a mentor, everything they've said I've kind of taken it on board and interpreted it in my way. Yeah. Whether I use it or I don't use it. Taking the best parts from each one says. Everyone would do there's nothing really bad. Everyone does things differently.
and you can like pick and choose
Yeah.
the parts that you like.
100%. Like if someone's giving you really bad advice, they're not in the position to be coaching or mentoring, or I'm trying to think if there's someone that's like in the outside that said something that outside the circle that I was like, nah. Yeah, no, I just I try to just take everything, man. Yeah, and anyone that's kind of got a life I see that I think is admirable, or something that I want for myself, or they've built something for themselves, or anything like that, they're all really, really good at making quick decisions. Whether it's not the right decision or it is the right decision, just make a decision.
Yeah, just do something.
They're really good at making decisions. You know, they're not on the fence of thinking, oh, do we do it this way? Do we do it that way? The time that they're spent dibble-dabbling is wasted time and wasted money. Like I see all these really good leaders, they make decisions really fast.
Yeah.
And then they sort it out along the way.
Yeah, figure it out.
Yeah, so that's a hard question. I can't even answer your original question. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, well,
shit.
That's good, I reckon.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, thanks for being on.
I think we've encapsulated quite a lot there, but I appreciate coming on, and just like following what Jake was saying, it's very good to see what you're doing and all the work you've done in this office space here for other businesses, and like myself, like again, we wouldn't have the workflow we do without you, and seeing this podcast come to fruition, it's going to be exciting to see the guests that you have on board, man.
Yeah, thanks, man. Thanks for coming on.
Nah, that's all right, bro. It's been fun.
Yeah.
Been real fun.